Shalom, shalom. I'm Brother Kasha Kala coming back at you with another lesson, giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. I wanted to get in a quick lesson today. It's going to be pertained around how extraordinary events are going to happen, you know, and this is when we get to the climax of Jacob's trouble and things start ramping up. As we can see, Esau is a master of gradualism. He gradually does things, which that's a lesson for another time, which I might have to write down. You just be covered up with lessons in the mind, but gradually Esau's doing things, and gradually he's implementing all hell breaking loose. I'll tell you that, but it's all a part of plan. Okay. It's all a part of plan. It's all about what the Lord wants to do. And he put the spirit on Esau to be a gradualist in this thing. Because guess what? That's how the prophecies are. They gradually come to pass. But when we get to the point where we start seeing and doing extraordinary things, don't be so surprised when these things start happening to you. Be ready to be used as a vessel and as a tool for Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai's use. Because that's all we are, nothing more. We're servants, we're ministers. We're here to be used, okay? And what other power would you want to be used by but other than Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai? So we got to prepare our minds and settle in us to see these amazing things. I just had a good conversation with the elder up there in DC, Kasat Magan. His YouTube name is GMS Custos. I'll put it in the link in the description below, Lord willing. But he was talking about things happening and how things are going to get crazy, how we're going to see things pop off right before our faces, and that's true. And that's what you call extraordinary. All right? So without further ado, I'm going to get to the scripts. The first script I have right here is Bel and the Dragon. And this is about pretty much Daniel being in the lion's den. Okay? This is about Daniel being in the lion's den. And I'm just going to get straight to the point because something extraordinary ended up happening in this book. And I'm going to get straight to it. And this is Bel and the Dragon, the first chapter, verse 27. It says, then Daniel took pitch, fat, Salakia. Nah, I'm going to jump down to verse 31. It says 30. Now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days. So he was in a den full of lions for about a week. It says verse 32. In the den there were 7 lions, and they gave Salakia and had given them every day 2 looks like carcasses and 2 sheep, which then were not given to them, to the intent that they might devour Daniel. So they purposely starved the lions so they can just immediately jump on him and devour him and eat him. Verse 33 says, now there was a jury, a prophet called Habakkuk or Habakkuk. When you read about him, he has a whole book. All right. And this man was nowhere near Daniel at the time. It says, who made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. Okay. But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, go, carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel. So that gives you clear indication that Habakkuk was not in Babylon at the time. All right? He wasn't in Babylon at the time. It says, who is in the lion's den? And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. I don't know where this is. What are you talking about? How can I deliver something where I don't know where it's at? What are you talking about? So verse 36 says, Then the angel of the Lord took him by a crown and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemence of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. And Habakkuk cried, saying, O Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner which the Most High has sent thee. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O Yahweh, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. I'm going to keep reading before I, break it down. Verse 39, So Daniel arose and did eat, and the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. That's something that's extraordinary. That's an extraordinary feat or an extraordinary circumstance that the Lord conducted right there. All right? Habakkuk being in a totally different area of the world. All right? A totally different area of the world. Got picked up. First off, the first extraordinary thing that happened was an angel met him. All right? Usually when you see an angel, it's an extraordinary thing. They come in power. They come in glory. They come pretty much, the scriptures talk about how they have a terrible countenance, or when you read in the book of Judges, when Samuel's mother ran into one. You see in the book of Revelation when John the Revelator experienced the angel. It was a very extraordinary, all right? It was a very extraordinary thing that they encountered, okay? It's fine. Let's put this right here. So here's the word extraordinary in the Google, the standard Google definition. It says very unusual or remarkable. All right, something that's unusual and remarkable. Okay, in this case, what was unusual and remarkable was the fact that that angel told Habakkuk to go somewhere where he's never been and to a very specific location that he can't pinpoint. Just think of someone, right? Let me say, prime example, I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. Prime example. If someone told me to go to the third floor of a building, the room number 621 in Dubai. I ain't never seen Dubai in my life. I don't know exactly what building or the third floor in number 621 on that door. I don't know where that is. What are you talking about? I ain't never set foot there. It's the same thing that angel was telling Habakkuk. That was an extraordinary task or unusual or remarkable task the angel of the Lord was telling him to do. He questioned it. Guess what the Lord did? Dragged him by the head and took him right to where he needed to be. So when these times come, you can't be in a mindset of, oh, I didn't know this was going to happen. Only reason you wouldn't know it was going to happen is because you haven't read. And I know you sincere Akim out here, I've read this, and I know y'all read the scripts and see a lot of remarkable things happen in the scripts. And that's what you have to gear your mind towards. I just wanted to bring one of these out as an example. Things are going to happen in that day. Daniel was in a lion den. That's an extraordinary situation. You're in there with 7 complete lions who haven't ate and are ready to eat, and they don't touch you. Just imagine Daniel's probably in that den chilling with them. They was probably catering to him, probably comforting him. One lion probably was laid down behind Daniel, and Daniel let him use him as a pillow to go to sleep. He was in there for a week. Daniel was probably hungry, hasn't eaten days, and so the Lord pretty much teleported Habakkuk to him to give him the pottage that he had made so he can eat. You see? And you never know. You got to envision it too. Habakkuk made pottage for reapers, plural. So it's probably a big portion of it. A big portion of it. And the lions could probably eat as well. You know, just throwing it out there. I'm thinking as a man right now. I'm speaking as a man. But when you're a visionary, you think of these certain situations. The script give you the general basis of what you need to know. And then your understanding and your, yes, you can say your imagination and your vision starts coming to life. You actually putting yourself in this. You got to think of the little details that could have happened. Okay? That speaking of a man as a man and thinking, but also you have to filter it through the scripts. Okay? Don't let your imaginations go wild. Because at the end of the day, we still deal with the truth. Okay? So Habakkuk was brought to him extraordinarily and then beamed back to where he was and probably still fed those reapers what they needed to get. Okay? Let's see. Let's go to 2 Samuel. Let's go to 2 Samuel 22 and let's just read it. 2 Samuel 22:1. It says, and David spake unto the Lord the words of his son in the day that the Lord had delivered him out of the hand of all his enemies, out of the hand of Saul, in extraordinary fashion. It says, and he said, the Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. You can read Psalms the 18th chapter right along with this chapter. All right. It says, in the power of my rock, in him will I trust. He is my shield, in horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge, my savior. Thou savest me from violence. I will call on the Lord who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. When the waves of death compassed me, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. In my distress I called on the Lord, and he cried to my power, and he did hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry did enter into his ears. And then the earth, Salakia, then the earth shook and trembled, foundations of heaven moved and shook, because he was my rock, because he was wroth. That's extraordinary for the Lord to hear your voice and actually make a move. All right? The earth shook and trembled. The foundations of heaven moved and shook because he was wroth. Think about the earth trembling and shaking. When Yahushua had passed on the cross, of course he got up and lived in the third day and resurrected. But when he put his head in his shoulder, what happened? Earthquake. People rose from the dead. The temple rent. That's an extraordinary event that happened. All right. I'm going to skip down real quick. I want to get to a certain point because in this script it shows that he was beamed up. All right. Verse 17. He sent from above. He took me and drew me out of many waters. You see that? That's an extraordinary event. Because he cried on the name of the Lord and was beamed up. Okay? So these things are going to happen. I'm going to go back to this extraordinary word. Very unusual or remarkable. You got to settle it in your mind for these things to happen. You got to settle it in your mind to see things happening around you and you being delivered. Seeing an angel. Okay? Seeing salvation, Lord willing, would be those individuals. Okay? You got to wrap your mind around being in predicaments that are life-threatening. You got to wrap your mind around getting delivered out of those. These are extraordinary events. The elder Kasap, when I was speaking to him, he said, yeah, you in Atlanta right now, but just think, say you be one of the men who get salvation, you might not be beamed up, while you're in Atlanta. You could be all the way in Tennessee, or I could be in Wyoming or something. When I've been pushing for so long here in Atlanta, Georgia, I could be getting beamed up in Alaska. For all I know, the scriptures say the elect 144 are scattered across the earth. So what's to say a brother from Holland or the brothers over there pushing, they could get teleported and be in New York. They could get teleported and be in Hawaii because the Lord has a mission that they need to accomplish, and he needs their particular spirit to deal with that. You don't know where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing. All right? When the Lord needs you and calls your number to be used, well, you got to go with it. Habakkuk, his number was called and he needed to be used, and it was used in a very extraordinary manner. So don't be surprised when these things come to pass when the day hits. We read about it. Gear yourselves now to be focused, and gear yourselves now to be like, hey, well, shoot, the Lord told me to do it. I got to get to it, you know? So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Again, I'm going to put the brother Kasap's YouTube in the descriptions. I want to say, call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Shalom to the brothers out there in DC. I miss y'all, brothers. Shalom to the sincere brothers across the nation, across the globe, pushing this truth with all sincerity. And peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. My name is Kasha Kwala from the GMS Atlanta Church here in Georgia. Until next time, I'm going to say shalom.